Okay. Hello, everybody. So my name is Carl Rodriguez, and I'm the founder of a startups network called Joining the Dots. And I'm starting a series of videos now, interviewing members of the community, members of the network, companies who are supporting startups or startups in their own right. And yeah, there'll be a YouTube channel and a series of these to come. And today I'm going to be talking with Alex Newell, who works in innovation, hi Alex, for F6S, which is an ecosystem for founders and startups on a global basis. They have thousands of startups, so I'm always keen to leverage other ecosystems, and Alex has been a great contact and very helpful. We've been, sort of sending good ideas, and I think this is the way of the world, is just how do we find ways to support our communities, and that's often about leveraging each other's networks. So welcome, Alex.
Thanks, Carl.
How's it going? So another Zoom call. Everybody's on recording Zoom calls these days, but I want to talk to you about some very defined topics that I think you've been asked about a lot by the startups, and obviously a lot of startups will watch this. So we're obviously in a situation of great change. Startups are thinking about money. How do they adapt? How do they, find cash? How do they raise cash? How do they, deal with these sort of situations? So I just wanted to really unpick some of the knowledge that you've got and what you're finding out there. So one of the things, if we can talk a bit about, I know, your company deals with R&D tax credits. Do you want to just maybe cover off that topic and tell me what they are, how they can be useful? Because I know it's one source of cash for startups.
Yeah, so essentially, so R&D tax credits, great source of funding for technology and science-based SMEs in the UK, where if you are innovating essentially in either of those fields, you're able to claim back around a third or up to a third of your expenses. So for most startups who are loss-making companies, that's a cash refund that they can get back. Especially right now, as you mentioned, in the times that we're going through, we're seeing these as being particularly important. Lots of companies, realizing more and more the importance of cash in the bank, and it's a source of liquid funding that they can get back if they've already spent money. Quite simply, if you're spending money on technical people, scientific people, depending on what field you're in, lab equipment, hardware, software, whatever it is, if it's R&D related, a portion of that can be claimed back. So we help companies to do this. Okay,
thanks. And I also was sort of under the impression that it could also be for product development, sort of any sort of evolving of platforms, if somebody's got a sort of tech software as a service as well.
Correct. Yeah. So it covers, basically it covers the entire field of technology. So whatever you can think of that's tech related, if it's something that does come with it some innovation, you've had to solve some technical or technical challenges when you've been developing it, overcome uncertainties, maybe you've developed a few iterations trying to figure out what works and what doesn't, then the likelihood is that it would qualify for this R&D tax credit.
And you mentioned F6S help people with that process, but can you give us a very short sort of sense of what's involved in that? Is it just basically a form that gets filled in, or what's the process?
Yes, there's a bit more to it than a form. There's think of it in two parts. So you have a technical part and you have a financial part. So on the technical side, you need to form a narrative that shows the research and development you've done. So you need to talk about, what's most innovative or advanced about what you've developed. What are the challenges you've had to overcome? Were there iterations? You have to focus. There's various different criteria that you need to go through in order to show HMRC that you are eligible for that claim. The other side is the financial aspect. So that's quite simply where you need to prove you've spent money. So that's proven in the accounts, it's proven in the invoices that we go through. And ultimately, we calculate a figure that we would be reclaiming based on what you've spent and the way you've spent it, and whether you are profit making, loss making, whatever the situation is.
Amazing. Yeah. So I think it's really great to hear you say all of that, because I think there's this sort of gap that people just don't know it's possible, and there is a lot of money that gets unclaimed.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
it's totally relevant now that cash is king, and so if we can help anybody out there get some more money in the pot, then brilliant. And I know when we're thinking about this, you also mentioned that you're getting obviously fundraising questions. Obviously, people are thinking about what's the market like, but also kind of how to most effectively fundraise in these sort of times. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, as you said, so we're getting more and more people who are well struggling to get investment to, and they're looking for ways to increase their chances. Now, one of the ways that you can increase your chances is through the SEIS or EIS schemes. The SEIS being the Seed Enterprise Investment Scheme, the EIS being the Enterprise Investment Scheme, which are essentially schemes that quite simply put, they reduce investor risk. They allow a guaranteed return on an investment should the startup fail. So more and more companies are going for this. More investors are looking for this. So it's certainly one of the ways we're sort of helping or trying to help startups get into that investment easier.
Okay, nice one. So yeah, basically makes it more attractive to do deals from the investor's point of view. And I mean, I know this because I do a lot of crowdfunding, and I can, when they then go bust, I can claim a bit back on the HMRC. So yeah, I get it. Okay, one last thing for startups and any other kind of ways that you could provide practical steps they could take to maybe raise their visibility or anything like that.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, one other area of the F Success platform that we've seen grow quite a lot is the corporate innovation side of the platform. To sum up what it is, it's essentially where we make strategic and value add introductions, startup introductions to corporates. So corporates who like Accenture, for example, or Vodafone, and many others who are looking for partnership opportunities or maybe investment opportunities. They come to us. They have specific requirements about the startups they're looking for, and what we do is we have scouts and analysts who do the due diligence on the startups themselves, and ultimately make these warm introductions. So helping the startups by giving them a way into to partnerships or potential investment, and obviously helps the corporates. So that's something that we're doing on quite a big scale now, and it's really useful for the startups, especially at the moment when we come back to what's going on right now, where it's becoming maybe more difficult to get access to these opportunities. We're sort of assisting and pushing that on through our corporate innovation.
Excellent. All right. Well, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, I think we can put obviously the website underneath the video in the description.
Sure.
I don't know if we'll put your email address, but we'll work out a way. So we'll put your name, and people can come to me if they want to get in touch with you, or find you on LinkedIn, things like that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, thanks a lot for that, Alex. Short and sweet, but three very practical things I think that can really help startups. And all power to you and F Success. And I'll see you around very soon.
Thank you very much, Carl.
Cheers, Alex.
Cheers.
Okay.